Hello, my Gen Z, worldwide Gen Z. My name is Professor Dr. Kimathi. I'm a Gen Z senior. I'm talking from Kenya, and being a professor of political science, governmental studies, and ethics, I have numbered my lessons according to the lessons that I give, with a purpose. The reason that I'm teaching is that actually it's a new idea that I'm bringing to the world. I'm challenging democracy. I'm saying it is a democracy. And a lot of people, therefore, will not like me. They do not like me. Neither was the prophets of God loved. Neither was Isa bin Maryam loved. Neither was Muhammad al-Mustafa, and that is why he had to run away from Mecca to Medina. Now, I'm speaking from Kenya, where these things are happening. There is a gentleman called Richard Otieno. He was found cut with an axe at the back of his head. That was on 18th January 2025, so that the residents of where he was that way brutally murdered. On Sunday the 19th January 2025, there is the people who rioted. They went into the mortuary. In America, they call it a morgue. They went into the morgue and retrieved the body of Richard Otieno and started rioting with it. And they were going towards the house of the local MP, Member of Parliament, whose name is Kuria Kimani, a Kikuyu. Richard Otieno was Amjalu. Who are these people rioting, and what do they want? What you read in the press is that they were scattered by the GSU, General Service Unit Police, scattered them so that the body was thrown. Nobody even knew where it is. We have not seen in the papers or in the radio or YouTube whether that body has been found. The riots took place on 19th January 2025. On 20th January, that is the second day, January 20th, 2025, again, another riot. A young man, a Kikuyu, had been shot by the wildlife people because he was found fishing at Lake Nakuru. So the people again were rioting with the body, and they were to be dispersed by the police. That was the second day. On 21st, look at those 3 days following, there was a riot at Madale Valley. Why? Because there is this young Kikuyu who was taking his child to school, a 3-year-old boy, and somehow, somebody came with a knife, stabbed him. He died, and he ran away. So again, there were riots in Madale. Madale is a slum of Nairobi. It is near a place called Muthaiga for the rich of Nairobi. No, the rich of Kenya. So what am I trying to say? I'm trying to give you another word, and that is leitmotiv. It's actually one word, but I like when I'm showing my students to see it as two words. When you are writing it in your compositions or using it, it is one word. There is no this Dutch. But I'm putting it so that I aid your memory because of this word motif. And this is leitmotiv. What is leitmotiv in English? Because I said I normally teach even sometimes 3 subjects at one time. I call it integrated learning. My friend, Gen Z, you will not be here on this earth forever. You have a span of time, which God knows. You will not be a Gen Z forever. After some time, you stop being a youth and be raising a family. Now, the Gen Z, we call it the military wing. And military wing, military is for the young people. Any generation, in any country, the people who are taken in the military are the young people. Now we have called them Gen Z. We have called them Gen Z. And against Gen Z senior, in what manner? In that all my peers have gone under. I'm that old. All my people, all my generation people are gone. And in the African custom is that when your generation has ceased, then you go down to the last generation, and that is where you belong. So that is how I call myself Gen Z senior. And I'm here to teach you a new thing. What am I teaching you? When I talk about leitmotiv, I want you to understand what leitmotiv means. Because the last time I talked about cavalier. Cavalier, I said, if you look it up in your dictionaries, is a person who is not concerned with matters that matter. They don't care whether people are killed the way I have narrated them. And that's just a drop in a bucket of water of how many young men are being killed. I also said that when you are learning a language, because in Africa, English is our second language. We have other, probably 2. In Kenya, we have actually 3 languages. When a Kenyan is walking anywhere, is fluent in. If they are fluent in their own languages, if in Kikuyu they speak very good Kikuyu, they speak Kiswahili for the local people, and English for the elitist. In political leadership in Kenya, they are using English. So you have to understand English. And that's why I'm teaching English at the same time, teaching you politics. So that you'll be using these words amongst yourselves and amongst those you are bringing to yourselves to make yourself stronger. I talked about the word cavalier, so that you should differentiate between cavalier and cavalier. Cavalier is for those who squabble over very small things. You'll find there is this man called Gachagua, who was the deputy president when the president was Ruto. And he was kicked out and somebody else put in his place. So he is a bitter man, and he is trying to criticize the government left and right, imagining that he will endure himself to the people. In fact, not knowing that he is endearing himself to death. Because I'm talking about leitmotiv as something which, by definition, leitmotiv, is a recurring theme. Something repeated many times. What is this? That is a leitmotiv of politics in Kenya. Death. Death and destruction. That is what you observe. Because when we talk about political science as a lesson, we call it a science. Because by definition, a science is a lesson where you get results by measuring or looking with a microscope. The microscope is helping you to see more, even small things, or a telescope to see something very distant. That's why it's called. That's why political science is a science. Politics is a science, because you can observe if you're not blind. I'm trying to open your eyes. Open your eyes to late motive of democracy, and that's why I call it a democracy. Why? Because in democracy, they are killing one another. They are killing. That's the leitmotif. You see, I'm talking about something dominant, an occurring theme. You'll find that during the elections of Raila Odinga and I would say Uhuru and Ruto, when Ruto was the deputy of Uhuru, there was a Jaluo, a Luo man, who was very learned in IT, and he was killed. Musandu. The gentleman was called Musandu, and left a very young woman. Now I hear she has been pregnant many times when the husband has died. The point is, this is a late motive, something which is dominant, an occurring theme, that they are killing those that are against them. Those they think they will defeat them, they kill them. It is not confined with Ruto. It was not confined with Uhuru Kenyatta. It was not confined to Kibaki. I can tell you how many people Kibaki killed. Actually, Kibaki killed more people than any other person, because he was killing a people called Mongeke, a Kikuyu youth wingers those days. You can call them Gen Z those days. Kenyatta killed very many Jaluo, very many Luos. He killed Tom Mboya, he killed Agwins Kadek. I can't even continue narrating how many he killed. Luo people, especially Luo people, because they're interested in politics. Moi, who took over after Kenyatta, he killed many people. And many people he put in detention. He did not want to kill them because he was still a Christian. But all the same, even when he was not a Christian, when God says that thou shalt not kill, he still killed. He killed Robert Ouko. In his time, there was Oyugi, and I say Oyugi because he was my personal friend. We used to discuss politics with him, and I'll visit him to Rodwa, where he was a DC before they took him up, promoted him into being in the security docket, to be in charge of the security docket. They killed him. They killed Ogola because of politics, and everybody knows this. So when I'm talking about leitmotif, I'm talking about death as something occurring, something recurring, something dominant in the politics. I'm saying this because the other day Uhuru Kenyatta told his daughter Ngina, and I was very angry with Uhuru Kenyatta, because Gena is my granddaughter. Gena is my granddaughter. And when you tell her to go with the Gen Z in what they are doing, resisting the government, which is armed when they are not armed, I say, Uhuru, you are sacrificing Gena's blood to the demon of democracy. Gena should not be involved in these kind of dirty things, especially when his grandfather was a president in this country. And then his father, Uhuru, handed it over. We said to the Kalenjin, because in Africa it's not like America. It is, I have already said many times that you cannot remove tribalism in Kenyan politics because people were taught that way from their beginning. So the Gen Z, you say they are not they are apolitical, that they are not involved with tribes. It is a tribe by itself when you say Gen Z.